Hi, everyone. So, today we're going to touch on, as you know by now, one of my favorite topics, which is collaboration. And today we're going to do a prompt that centers around collaborating with time. And what do I mean by that? So, this is a really simple collaboration. Basically, for the next 5 days, you are going to pick a time of day that works well for you, and every day at that time, you're going to sit down and you're going to write for 20 minutes about whatever you want, whatever comes up, but same time every day. Get yourself in a seat, wherever that is, and just write. And I'm not sure what will come up for you, but when I've done this exercise in the past, depending on where I do it, um, so I'm gonna read to you a collection that I did after I did this for the first time when I lived in LA, and I wrote every day in my apartment at lunchtime because it's when I could take a break from school and work, and so I was sitting down to eat, and I thought, well, this is my time. So I sat down every day at midday and I wrote for 20 minutes. And I'll be honest, the first couple of times I did this exercise, it was much like when I first started trying to do sitting meditation, and that I had a lot of resistance to it. And so I felt like some days I wanted more structure, like what should I be writing about? Should I be working on a piece? But that wasn't the idea with this. You just sit down and you write. So it's not to generate for a project that you've already done, it's just to sit down, observe this time of day, and just write about what comes to mind. And so what ended up happening for me was that I just really started noticing things and noticing my surroundings a lot more because I don't want to say I'd get bored with it, but it's like, well, what am I going to write about now? And so I spent a lot of that time just being observant to my surroundings and maybe what haven't I noticed about this space before, and what are some of the details that jump out at me or strike me or maybe have changed since the day before. And so it really got me to start noticing the little things. And that's the main thing I've taken away from this type of collaboration, is that it always brings me back to just noticing the small changes, the little differences, the things that are sometimes just easy to overlook in our day-to-day life because we don't really sit and just observe and be in a space day after day. And there's something about it being the same time of day that also just becomes kind of powerful. So that's the prompt. It's really simple. You don't need any other materials. You don't need another person. It's just you and a set of time that you've decided you're going to visit every day for at least 5 days. If you want to keep going beyond that, by all means. Some people have done projects like this where they'll sit down at the same time every day for a year and turn it into a series of sorts. So as long as you want, but I would say at a minimum, if you can try to do it for about 5 days, that'll really kind of help get you into a rhythm with it, and you'll kind of start noticing how things shift day after day as well. So I was going to read you the piece that I put together after I did this for the first time. And so I had done this every day for 5 days, and then I took that writing and I made a poem called Midday Reprieve. Today, the slow release of colliding contradictions, rarely able to reconcile across the spectrum. Instead, I'll dangle a different color for every day, observing from above the hum, the hum, the hum. Frozen, any move equals change, music over my ears, holding me in place. Yesterday. Pointy spires dominate the scruff as the curves ribbon around, clank against the frame, demanding sound as rumbling approaches, heard before it is felt, every second a minute, body frozen but alert, electric pulses, beating, 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 over. Tomorrow. The weary taste sweet, smells of a vast lake. Dune grass tickles, black flies celebrate a hole in my jeans. Knee weary, itches red, flames lapping up the shoreline. Starving land diminished for those who need it most. Every day. Wanting off, needing on. Still heat overtakes stagnant air, a smoky twinge, meshing, swirling, sweet and hot, as the twine wickers in a hollow ball, craving light as its center. Even on the darkest days, coins gather in formidable rows, ready to roll over the edge, anything to escape. The chaos, the breeze, the sharp edges, the sticky side. I'll crawl inside if you'll zip me up. And so that's what I put together. And what I like about this one, I'm trying to make sure you can see, is that the way I laid it out on the page as well, you can read it in different orders, just depending on how you're feeling that day. So I like that too. You can really kind of play around with form a little bit as well. And so, yeah, that's my invitation to you today, is just to collaborate with some time and see what comes out of that. And if you'd like to share any of that writing with me, of course, feel free to either email me and then write at gmail.com or post it below and let me know what you think of this particular collaboration. All right, thanks.